Okay, we're live now. Hello and welcome. I am Olii, the current Blinx 2 world record holder for most categories. And I'm going to be speedrunning Blinx 2 Masters of Time and Space, the any percent category. Normally, I think, for a convention, basically, all I need to do for this run is beat the game from a new game, as you would do in any percent run. I'm here today with Ornal and Miku. Miku.
Howdy, fellas. I was supposed to be commentating the last one.
Oh, is the stream frozen? Hang on. Oh shit, the stream's frozen. Hang on. Why is the stream frozen? Can you guys?
It might.
That's. Apparently, I have 0 drop frames, so. We're good now. We're good now. Okay, AK's back. I don't know what happened, but okay. Well, the stream's back then.
Right,
Cool.
the timer hasn't started yet, so we're good.
Yep, the run doesn't start yet. How does starting the timer work?
Do we want to introduce ourselves again? Did that get picked up?
All good.
No, we're all good.
Okay, well, basically, the time starts when I click one player mode, so do I just say start the timer when I need the timer to be started?
Yeah.
5, 4. It's frozen again.
It's frozen again.
Okay,
Oh
why is it freezing? I have no idea why it's freezing. I mean, like when I check OBS, it seems to be working. I have 0 drop frames.
The audio is fine.
Yeah, but if the video isn't, that's not good.
Okay, it's come back again.
Good now. Well, I guess all I can do is.
I'm watching the stream right now, so at the moment it's good.
Okay, yeah. Well,
and it's.
yeah.
Oh
Okay.
wait, hold on. I think I know why. So click off of Zemu.
Yeah. Okay. Should I be on OBS? Yeah.
I think it's because you're clicking on Zemu.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it's like.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. I'll be clicked off Zemu then. That'll work then. Can you see the stream now?
Yeah.
Wait for it to
Okay.
load back up.
In which case then, I'm gonna start the run in 5,
There we are. There we go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Begin the timer.
Let's
Alright,
go.
good luck.
So here we are in tutorial stage. So at the start of Blinx 2, you'll be greeted with a bunch of tutorial levels, just basically going through the basics of the game. The cool thing about speedrunning this is that we can basically skip through all of this by just pressing start and then pressing the X button. Right there, it's like a couple frames where you can pause to skip that cutscene with the box. It's like, I think it's like 2 or 3 frames. It's in between there.
Yeah, I believe it's 2
It's
frames.
really fast. It's very hard to like get the timing.
Yeah, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But I go for all the time because you can save like a second by getting it.
Yeah,
Might as well
it's
go
a
for it.
big difference from the second game to the first. Well, the first game was very kind of hands-off with telling you how to play the game. The second game is the opposite, and it's very kind of hands-on. It loves to throw lots of tutorials and tell you what to do.
Here we go
at
again.
you. So a big part of this speed run is trying to avoid as much of that as possible. So skipping tutorials, skipping mandatory dialogue boxes like this one on certain points, doing anything you can to avoid a pop-up text box. Like one was just skip right there
What the
for
heck?
activating the pause before jumping into the water.
Just makes the game funner as well. Just
Yeah.
not having a lot of text boxes.
The problem with the text box
Another one
is
there from jumping over the wall instead of going up the ramp.
whenever you get a text box,
It's
the game
just
just stops.
Yeah, so that's why you want to try and avoid them as much as you can.
Ollie's grabbing 3 bombs. So with each Blinx level, and it will Blinx 2 level, you have a choice of ending the level either 2 ways. One's usually like, for this stage, you can either grab 3 bombs and destroy the door, or you can use a key to open the door. And it's much faster to just grab the 3 bombs and then just shoot the door down.
Yeah. One of the big differences between like Blinx 2 levels and Blinx 1 levels is that Blinx 2 levels tend to be a lot more open-ended with how they're designed. Like, every single level has a different way of beating it, rather than just killing the enemies in the level. You need to complete various tasks in order to finish the level.
And, yep, got switch skip. That right there was a little skip Ollie did to overlap like 2 cutscenes at once, because there's supposed to be one for when the gate blown up and get shown a bunch of time monsters, and another one for flipping the switch. You trigger both at once by just flipping the switch at a certain point.
Oh, Jesus. Not sure why my game's lagging. Hopefully it fixes itself. That's not...
I
That's...
think it was only doing it with the pause. That's
Yeah.
so weird.
I've never had
Oh,
that
there-
before
there
for
we
some
go.
reason. Well,
Yeah,
it fixed itself. I don't know why that happened.
Emulation,
I'm gonna
am I
say,
right,
yeah.
fellas?
Yep, this is the problem
Yeah.
with emulating. Sometimes you get some technical
only-
errors.
I'd still play this over the original Xbox.
Yeah, the benefits are the game looks so much better, and
Runs better too.
it
depending
runs
on the
better as
hardware.
well depending on the hardware. My PC is kind of mediocre, so it probably runs slightly worse, but it still runs pretty decently, and it looks a hell of a lot better because you can actually run the
This
game.
mission-
Sorry, you
It's a
continue.
semi-decent RNG that you got there with those batteries.
Yeah, as long
alright.
as long as you don't get a battery in the pool, which is basically the far end of the area,
Yeah,
it's
'cause,
pretty decent.
any 2 of those 5 Carafish enemies have the 2 batteries that we need, and it's random which one of them has them. We want them to be right next to each other so we can grab them as quickly as we can.
Here we go. Coming up on our first boss, Stone Guardian. I think that's his name.
Yep.
is. A lot of the bosses in this game are a little bit different to Blinx 1, where instead of they're just a bigger time monster, these bosses are actually sort of feel like, I guess, bosses.
Yep, they all have their own kind of unique, interesting ways of beating them. Although this guy is just, you knock him over and shoot him in the face. Twice.
Yeah.
Shoot him in the foot to knock him over, then shoot him in the big, giant, weak point bit in the chest.
I keep thinking that's his face, but it's actually his chest. It's kind of, I always kind of thought that his head is a bit like a Spartan from Halo. And then also the big visor at the front.
So that green energy that we shot is the weak spot, which allowed you to get one of the pieces to the big crystal. So I think On is actually probably the best to explain, what is
Okay.
the big crystal?
Okay, so, well, the story of this game, instead of the basic story of Blinx running from one part of the world to another to fix the one world at the time the TomTom gang messed up, in this story, the leader of the TomTom gang, Benito, was off looking for treasure, and he stumbled across a gigantic time crystal. So he went, ooh, shiny! He jumped on it, he grabbed it, a big jump hug thing, and it ended up breaking it into pieces. Turns out this big time crystal was something called the Big Crystal, and was helping keep the time together all over the different worlds. And so the time sweepers, the kind of custodians of time, it's like, okay, well, we need to go quickly find the pieces and put them back together, otherwise time's gonna collapse. So that's what you do as the time sweepers. Now we're swapping over to the TomTom gang, and we're going to be looking for the pieces of the Big Crystal too, because the daughter of the goddesses of time, Mina, comes to Benito in his dreams and tells him that he needs to find the pieces of the Big Crystal too. Benito is absolutely instantly smitten with her and immediately goes off to do precisely that, and also because he wants his treasure back. So this first mission we're doing is that we're going to find pieces of a TomTom radar so we can use it to look for the big crystal pieces.
Coming up is one of the most difficult strats in the run, but it saves multiple minutes. Basically, we can entirely sequence break this level in order to skip pretty much every single text box and cutscene within the level, which obviously saves a lot of time, and also we get to skip the area of the first few missions. We do it by getting one of the enemies over here to damage boost us up a cliff at the start of the level. Hopefully I can get it first try. It's one of the more challenging tricks in the run.
Yeah, you need the guard to stand in a specific
looks like
spot. Otherwise, you
Looks
won't.
like the right spot.
Yeah, you need to jump at the right time, and you need to also
I got it.
have
Oh,
the
there
guard
we
be,
go. Yes.
be in the right spot. It is incredibly difficult to learn.
And that's why the trick is also called guard damage, because it is very annoying to get him in the right spot. Luckily, there's some safety help right here. But yeah, we skipped like about maybe half the level.
Please work.
Although because of that, we
All good.
skipped so many different
Nice.
parts of the level. We actually do need to damage boost over some bits because it's going to try and play some cutscenes from early in the level, and some of them, like this one here, is going to try and drag us in front of the door for that one. So we need to be standing here and have something in front of us, so we're not being dragged over and back down the cliff to a lower area. And now we're going to clip through the wall here, the wall tunnel.
Oh, that's so sick.
I love that strat.
And
It's really easy to do as well.
yeah, because how the game intends you to play this level is sneak around some guards, find a map, push a box over to a wall so you can climb up to a higher level, go around and sneak across some walls, ride a crane across a guard area, then switch off the power to some lasers, and sneak into this doorway to get here. But we, just by getting shot off a cliff, we skip a lot of it. The game gets a little confused when we try to do things out of order, so we have to ensure that we get damage boosted across some gaps and be standing from some boxes for another.
But what that allows us to do is basically complete the entirety of missions 1 through 5 of TomTom 1 in just, 1 minute 49.
Yeah, it's probably one of the biggest skips for the TomTom levels.
Yep.
Certainly for that one. And now we have major RNG.
Yeah, so a lot of the versus mode sections, you have to find weapons around the map and use those weapons in order to kill the
Ooh,
enemies.
this is bad RNG. I'm not saying anything. We have the void trap, but
It doesn't work on sleeping enemies, which is the problem with it.
yeah, it's the it's a sniper rifle just appeared here. The problem with this is that instead of a boss fight, we do have this team fight for a boss for these TomToms. Problem is that we don't have weapons that can deal damage. Our slingshot, the only weapon we start off with, only uses sleeping guards to put guards to sleep. So we have to rely entirely on RNG weapon drops to deal damage to kill these enemies. And it's painful if you get bad RNG. It can be anywhere from like maybe 30 seconds on best to maybe over a minute and 20 seconds.
I thought that was...
even more for bad RNG.
I thought that example there was probably on the below average side, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... wasn't the best
Really
RNG.
annoyingly, the item I used at the start, the Void Trap, it can one-shot the enemies, but for some reason it doesn't work on sleeping enemies, and all of your teammates will try and put the enemies to sleep, which will cause it to not work.
It's 'cause the only weapon they have. And it's like, we need to shoot an enemy, what do we have? Slingshot. Use slingshot. That's all they have. They won't pick up any other weapons themselves.
But thankfully, later on, your team gets upgraded with just pistols, so they can actually do like deal damage. But I mean, that's not going to make a difference in the long run. You're most likely going to be doing all of the work in those versus mode scenarios.
I think in one of the versus modes, your teammates can probably kill 1 or 2 different enemies. And to be fair, it's the TomTom Gun versus mode where this game can most certainly be called a shooter, because you use guns to shoot the enemy.
Yeah, not like special magical sweeper that can shoot the vacuum mark nearby objects and shoot them at others.
I mean, we also have those as well in this game, but the kind of the use of time controls are a little bit more structured and less freeform than Blinx 1. These few.
Rewinds. We need to rewind up later on with this. There's a boulder that's actually rolling down, and we're going to use that to damage boost ourselves up that. Just save ourselves some time.
I think it's actually the only way of getting up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the game intends for you to just sit by the base of the trap and wait until all the boulders have rolled back up, but it's slow waiting. So we just get a boulder to just push us up much faster. Anyway, what we're doing here in this level is that we're looking for another big crystal in the Destiny ruins here. So to get to the ancient warp gate, which will lead us to the big crystal fragment, we need to open our way to the area where it is in this first stage. And we do that by either pressing lots of switches or destroying all the statues.
Yeah, back in the day we used to do the switches, but then I think it was recently within like the year or like within 2 years we found out that the statue strat is actually a lot faster.
Yeah,
there's
only
less
with
content.
well, I think it was only
That's
discovered
pretty
with,
bad, taking that damage. Luckily, I still have a retry if I need it.
I think it was only found to be faster
Actually-
when that bomb snipe from the lower level was found out.
I'm
Because
actually
you
gonna
can-
die here.
Yeah, you might need
Oh,
it.
no, at the very least, you can't do the jump onto the fan.
Yeah, I've got a... I'm gonna get the guy to kill me. Or just kill myself.
Really?
Yeah, I think it'll be quicker.
When
Because
you
it
die in
makes
this
it
game and you use, yeah, no, it's fine. So when you die and use a retry in this game, you basically get refilled back to full HP. And for this strat, we want to like once we defeat the last statue or destroy it, this door opens. But when a checkpoint happens in this game, you get a few seconds of vulnerability, so you can kind of just walk across this like fan-bladed death trap. Kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's well, that is technically correct. The more I think what actually happens in this particular case is that it recognizes that you're standing on a hazard, and it doesn't like that, so it just says, "Okay, you're invulnerable until you get off the hazard."
I think if you stay
So
on it,
you can
and
stand
if you
on
stay
it.
on it long enough, it will eventually start damaging you, but it takes a very long time for that to happen.
It gives you some good time, yeah.
Probably about 5 or 6 seconds, I'd say.
Well, yeah, but it's basically lets us cross without having to stop for it to line up, so we can use a pause to get across.
The
Okay.
stream's been good, by the way, Mickey. Do you know?
Yeah,
It hasn't been freezing then.
No, it's
Okay.
perfect.
That's good. Okay. It's just weird. Is that the Fumo or like something else? Or the fans wheel? Okay. I thought like the saying that the stream was weird.
They're just talking about how like the mechanics of like how the invulnerability works is a bit weird. Don't worry, your stream is looking crispy.
That's good. You're supposed to use a pause to get past that, but you can just damage boost it. Or you can jump over it if you're good.
Yeah, you're supposed to jump over it. You don't really want to take too much damage to the time sweepers, because there's really not as consistent or good spaces to restore health as the time sweepers, and there's the tom-toms.
Yeah, coming up, we're gonna have another quick time event with the cannon, but if we time it just right, we can make it so that we can move past this sort of slopey area.
Yeah, it's just like the second the wall shuts out is when you want to step onto the trigger range. And we do that so we can grab those little bullets that it spits out, because they do instant kill damage. And we use it to take out this time monster here, who usually takes 2 hits. And we want to kill him because he drops a fast forward for us. We like fast forwards.
Lag! One of the issues with my PC, it's not the best, so I get quite a lot of lag in this area. I think for some reason my game isn't running as well as normal, but it seems to be okay. It's just probably a few seconds of time lost from it.
Fast forward works a little bit differently in Blinx 2 as it does in Blinx 1. Instead of actually fast forwarding the entire world up, it gives you extremely heightened momentum and makes you run super fast. It also doubles the damage of all shots that you fire.
It's bad that I
Sorry,
keep pressing my split button.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was pressing the split button in my run as well when I didn't even have my splits open.
I don't have my splits open
It's
either.
awesome.
Just muscle
Right.
memory. Yeah.
And now we have Major RNG, the boss of the Time Sweepers.
Everyone's
I'll
favorite
probably
Blinx 2 boss. We can use a melee attack to get him to drop the crystals early, one cycle earlier. Ideally, we want to grab
basically
2 rewinds here, which I did. Just about jumped over that.
We need rewinds to get the boss down to this form so we can damage it. So we need at least 3 rewinds minimum because he will just go back into this form after you damage enough for cycle bases.
I want that. Give me
And
that.
it's always a minimum of 3 that we
No!
need.
Oh,
However, as soon as you get enough time crystals for 1
Where's the
rewind-
crystals? I swear I shot him.
I think
Oh,
it like hit a really bad hitbox. And then... Oh,
As soon as you, I gather enough time crystals for 1 rewind, he'll slam the ground, which will destroy all. The shockwave will destroy all the rest of the time crystals that are already there.
That would be my slow right
So-
there. But I didn't get one because of...
stinky RNG. And also
Yeah.
the thing with the shockwave is just going really fast.
And also the other problem. Oh, there's a slow that drops right behind you.
Didn't need it,
Doesn't
luckily.
need it.
Didn't need it.
He's crashed.
Yeah. These little onion pellet things, they're also really random. They can just run around the entire arena in a completely random direction, and then they can be very hard to catch if you're unlucky.
One of the
So having
issues
a
is...
pause or a slow is good for security there.
One of the issues is they move faster than you, so if they just beeline it in a straight line away from you, there is absolutely nothing you can do to catch them.
Yeah, you can shoot at them, but that's not guaranteed because they can just decide to go whoosh and just run out of the way. So again, having a pause or slow guarantees you can catch up to them. So that's Time Sweeper's second piece of the big crystal. They also got a third piece of the Tom-Toms off screen, which was mentioned in the level, which leads directly into the Tom-Tom's second levels, reporting that they lost a big crystal piece. Benito gets angry and demands to do something for them to find a way to counteract the Sweeper's time controls. So that we go off to find a legendary item called the Time Control Neutralizer.
Probably one of the most boring levels ever.
Yeah, you don't really do much
Yeah.
other than complete a few puzzles. But the versus mode's pretty fun though, in my opinion, although it is RNG.
Yeah. And this level we're given lots of bags to carry around. And carrying bags is slow. While you're holding a bag, you can't run, you can only walk. And in addition, you can't double jump. Which means you just travel really
Oh, no.
slowly.
I think your single jump is also of a lower height as well than when you're moving
I'm
normally.
not too sure. Oh, let's see if you get this skip.
Nope,
To be fair, if I was
I'm not even
carrying
gonna
a
go
bag
for
of
it.
gold over-
Not even just
If I
one
was-
little
Just for
attempt.
for the fans.
Come on, I believe.
Nope.
Ah, that's holy skip there. A very, even more precise trick than God damn it, I'd have to say.
I think it's
although
pixel
much less
perfect.
risky.
It's pixel
It's
perfect.
the hardest trick in the game.
Yeah.
But if you do it, you skip this entire room sequence here, which involves this cutscene, this block push, telling you to go push the block back into place so you can get through. It takes about, I'd say, maybe a minute and a half.
Yeah, I'd say around that.
I would say more like a
Or a
minute,
minute,
like a
maybe a
minute,
minute.
like a minute,
Yeah.
not a minute and a
Yeah,
half.
actually, I'm being a bit.
You also have to
bit
you also lose a little bit of a time on the escape sequence because obviously this door isn't open, so you have to escape through the main entrance, through the other entrance, which means you have to push the cat head in order to escape the level. Otherwise, you have to complete the puzzle, and therefore the entire strat is made redundant. One of those things, nobody, as far as I know, nobody is yet to get a run with holy skipping because it is so precise.
I think Isn't managed to pull off the skip once. I don't know if that was in the run though.
I mean, I've done it in practice a couple times, like when I was
That might be you. I was thinking. I've noticed someone's actually done this.
I was
Yeah,
doing the labbing.
I've done it. Stimich has done it. Stimich got it in a run.
Stimich did it.
He got it in a run. That is really cool to know. I never knew that. How long did it take him though? I mean, if you got it first try, that is pretty epic. But if it took him like, you know, a minute and a half to do, then there's no point. Although it is cool still.
All right, now here we do another skip.
Yeah.
Bag skip. We skip another whole room and a bridge sequence by dropping the bag on the ledge there and standing on top of it to jump up to this area.
Yeah. This.
And I remember when I first saw that skip. I was like, wow, that is so cool.
I completely forgot about those stairs, to be honest, when I first saw the skip, so it's like, oh, can't believe I never thought of that.
There's actually a little skip done at the end of this level where we use the treasure from earlier on in the level to press that scale. The intended route is for you to grab some gold by completing puzzles to the left and right hand side to press down that scale. But for some reason, the treasure from earlier on in the level has the same weight as 4 pieces of gold, which allows you to complete that a lot quicker.
I'm pretty sure it's like, they're both intended, it's like, which route are you using to get through the level, you know, like choose one or the other. That's what it's meant to, because, yeah, you can either use that cat statue there from the first mirror puzzle, or if you decide to skip that puzzle and just go straight ahead, you can get the gold bars from some chests that's beside the scale.
Shout out to Wet Sweaty Legs for telling me the fastest route of completing this puzzle by like 1 second.
Right, there's actually an
Yeah,
optimized route for this?
he timed it, and there is an optimized route for it, which is like it's like a second faster.
Huh, I didn't realize that.
What Blinx players will do for 1 second.
It's not that long. It's like 0.3 of a second or something dumb like that. However, it is faster, so you might as well go for it.
You're
Alright,
welcome.
so we
Well,
found
thank you, Legs, for your contribution to the Blinx 2 speedrunning community.
So Carido, when this game first came out, Blinx 2 was widely considered by critics to be better than the first game, mainly because it's a lot more accessible to people and easier to beat. But to be honest, nowadays, in hindsight, most people look at the first game as a better game just because it's so much more open-ended in its level design. It's a lot more kind of, you can be creative with your use of time controls and beat the levels in many different ways, whereas this game is actually quite freeform and hand-holdy.
Yeah.
This is normally the point where we give read donation messages, because all I'm gonna do now is take this bag to the very start of the level.
Yeah, this is a prime example of seeing how the bag works. We can move just a lot slower and we can't jump as high, so being forced to take this bag out of this level, you can see how slow it goes.
They wondered why people hate Tom levels.
Yep. Saying that, I mean, I think the Tom levels are actually a lot more challenging than the sweeper levels, especially towards the end of the game. There's actually some pretty difficult stealth segments.
There's some cool Tom levels, like with the skips and stuff.
This is the one speed tech that's useful. You go a lot slower when you're walking up ramps, so jump up ramps, it'll get you up there a bit faster. It's especially a lot faster if you've got a bag.
Time for a snooze, guys. Yeah, absolutely. This is a good level.
Yeah,
to have a quick
resident sleeper.
That's how we first met. But luckily, coming up, we've got a pretty interesting fight scene. Mainly because there's 8 enemies to kill. You're actually fighting Team Blinx from the first game.
Yes, like after we secure the time control neutralizer, Benito excitedly says, well, let's go test it out. We find out one of our Tom gang pals had got ambushed by Team Blinx, so we go in there to help them out. Because, yeah, we don't play as Blinx in this game, although he is a major character, appears in quite a few of the cutscenes and pops up from time to time to help you out. We play as our own original OC Do Not Steal characters in this game. It's a huge character customizer, which can edit quite a lot of, quite thoroughly, the character models in this game. To spend quite a while messing with it.
Very nice.
And I'm not sure if you're gonna pull it. Oh yes, that is a tremendously good RNG. Get the best weapon, the bazooka, right at the start of this level. Because the main weapons we want to find in these boss fights are the bazooka or the crossbow.
Oh,
Failing
shit.
that,
Sniper.
failing that, the sniper.
Now the problem is I need to find ammo.
Yeah, that is one problem. We need ammo. There's some on that
Oh.
hill over there,
Yep.
and another bazooka drop right there. Full ammo.
Yep.
Man, they are giving you so much bazooka ammo.
Yep. This wasn't the best executed, but it was good enough. Yeah, I got him.
I give it a B grade.
Yeah, I'd say maybe, yeah, B-ish.
Yeah, the
Could
character
have been
customization is
but
definitely ahead of
certainly
its
could have been
time.
a lot worse. Yes, you can make some quote-unquote amazing characters. In fact, the stats on the character customization is even used for a skip coming up. Are you going to be attempting that skip,
Of course, of course. I'm planning on
Oh, yeah,
attempting
here we
everything
go.
used in the any percent route.
Wait, do you even have the right body setup for that? You randomly
Yep, it's
generate this
50,
character.
it's 50. I'm going to be customizing my character right now. It's 55, 50,
okay.
and 0 shoulder width. I know off by heart. Luckily, I normally have it in my splits, but I asked Lex to remind me, therefore I remembered.
It's
Yep.
kind of, yeah, really weird how, like, just the anatomy of your character can really change how some skips are performed. Like, say, if you're too
almost-
tall, it's just, like, so weird that you can't get it if you're too tall or too short, or if
Average
your arms
height.
are not long enough.
It's only really for like this skip right here, I think, if memory serves.
To the bottom meat. I think it should be
No,
okay.
it actually.
Yeah,
actually
it only
matters.
matters for the skip. Yeah. The reason why is because the size of your character affects the spawn point for space controls. It doesn't actually affect your character's hitbox. However, it does affect where the grenade itself spawns.
Yes,
so-
because the skip that we're about to do is actually the only out-of-bounds skip in this run. What we're going to do is we're going to try and throw a space control, the warp tunnel, through a wall and hopefully use it to get us through the wall into a future section of the level. First of all, though, we've got another skip to get to the point where we're going to do that. Fireworks skip.
Yep. For some reason, there's no unified name for this strat. But a lot of people struggle on it.
First try.
It
You got it first try?
It is a bit
I've
tricky.
been really, yeah, I've been really struggling with it the last few times I've done it.
And take this health, especially because I couldn't fully heal for earlier. And now I've got loads of health.
Alright.
First try.
Light up my crosshair and first try. Let's go.
Nice. Wow, first try.
Oh, amazing!
That's very good. You get like 8
Yeah.
tries to do that because there's a warp tunnel box over to like the right before we go through the wall. But you know, getting it first try, that's pretty good.
It's actually a pause
Yeah.
over there, but
So yeah, we're in the second area of this level now. And because we skipped over quite a lot, there's quite a few flags that haven't been hit yet.
don't worry, isn't it?
So a lot of things don't work. Like the alarms technically don't work. They're supposed to be dropping bombs as a trap, but they don't appear. And just a lot of stuff isn't there, including all the dialogue boxes. Which means we can just run through this entire area without getting interrupted.
Yep, there's no text boxes slowing us down, which means that
Like for
everything is very
example,
fast.
we're supposed to progress from stage 2 to stage 3 after we open up that chest there, but it doesn't happen. I
We're
mean, you
still
can
on stage
technically...
one.
We technically skip it another way, even if you don't do this skip, but... It's a lot. It's just... you cut out a lot of this stage. Speaking of the stage, what we're actually technically doing here, story-wise, is that we found the monster, the boss monster has the big crystal piece, but we can't defeat it because it's too tough. So we're going to find a weapon that can defeat the boss, and that's a tank. So after finding the tank, we find out it's got a few pieces missing from it. So we collect so a few missing tank pieces under the guard of the time sweepers here. We go to attach it to the tank up above on the upper level.
Ollie just did like a really cool trick there with the warp tunnel.
Yeah, you can basically save a little bit of time moving from the lever to the treasure bag by throwing down a warp tunnel and inputting the X input on the first frame of the cutscene. You can just do that by mashing the X button.
One final problem, since we're still in stage 1, we still need to free the tank from the ice here, and that's what we get the time grenades for, and flip this switch to deactivate the trap here.
Golden God, the emulator is now fixed. It should run really well, like on even mediocre hardware. Like my PC's not that good.
And now we're running through all the steps. It's like, oh, we clear stage 1. Now we'll clear stage 2. We need to grab the pieces. Oh wait, you've already got the pieces. Oh well, stage 3 complete, and we've got immediately to the boss fight.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I hate controlling this tank.
Nope, it's terrible.
What?
It's really bad.
I find it alright.
I think the auto lock on is just not very good, and it just misses all the time.
I guess controlling it's okay. It is just the auto lock on.
Like that first
like,
shot, just missed
it's
completely.
So bad.
That lock-on is supposed to be for the missile secondary weapon.
Yeah.
It's just like the plus crosshair that's the main cannon.
Jesus.
Firing all over the place.
I know. Yep. I am.
Fortunately, we got ammo though, so
It doesn't matter. Yep.
yeah,
Playstyle
because you shouldn't before you get ammo, because you have incredibly little ammo. for this
Yeah,
boss
I'm still
fight.
using a GTX 980 as my graphics card, and my CPU is like a Ryzen 1600, sorry. So pretty low-end hardware. I think it's mostly on CPU.
Yeah,
Oh.
this game is CPU bound in the emulator. For comparison, I have a Ryzen 5 5600X, which runs this game basically perfect. No frame drops, no nothing. Really good.
Yeah, apparently that's what they said, that Simmons did confirm he did get wholly skipping a run.
That is pretty cool. If it was first
Good on
try,
him.
then that could have been world record. And to be honest,
Okay, so did you enjoy the tank? Good, you will never see it again.
yeah.
See it again.
You can use it in multiplayer, which this game also has a kind of multiplayer combat mode, which is, it's alright. I enjoy it, but I think when you look at it objectively, it's inferior to the main story. I think one cool thing that Blinx 2 has that most other 3D platformers of its time doesn't have is this game allows you to play through the entire story in split-screen co-op.
Yeah, that's a pretty big thing to have, and it's also really fun because usually with 3D platformers and co-op stuff, usually it doesn't change much about the game, but when you do co-op in this game, there's quite a few things that change in the sense that it's built for a co-op run.
Yeah,
a lot
it's there's a few extra text boxes here and there saying maybe to clear this, one of your allies, one guy can do this while your partner distracts the enemies or whatever. Or you need to do some separate puzzles set up for co-op, like you need to hit both switches another time. I do know there's quite a few medals, like the cat and pig medals, are intended to be collected in co-op. However, there's quite a lot you can cheese. I think literally the only ones that you cannot get at all is the time sweeper ones that require the twin fast forwarding jumps, because they simply just will not spawn in single player.
I think.
All others, I think you can get with platforming shenanigans.
Remind me not to skip the cutscene because it's important
Yeah.
for the fans.
Here we go.
I can't skip the cutscene. It's worth the time lost just for for the Blinx community, for the Blinx Discord.
Yes.
This is
This
Blinx 2's
level-
only saving grace.
The Time Sweepers were going after the same big crystal pieces as Tom-Toms. But when we tried to contact the 4 Scout, we saw it before.
Oh no, Mick!
Okay, that's what you're getting.
He's been captured by the Tom-Toms!
Oh no,
We've got
hold
to
on.
rescue him!
I can't lose too much time, so I've gotta. You get the oh no, Mick.
Hold on, I've got a Mickey mode that I've got. There it is. I wonder if alright.
Nice. That was a good
Oh
shot.
no, Mick. Yeah, basically there's the two ways to beat this level is that you can get a key and like open I think you get the key from like a skull on the ground.
Oh, nah, it's I was going to say it was from those Tom-Toms, but it's actually in a hole right behind those Tom-Toms. And
Or
you
you
need to
can
open the big iron door from before that we saw before.
Or you can open
Or
the
we can-
4 lids on those platforms, which opens up a vent that you can just jump through.
Yeah, and he did. Ollie did a little jumping trick there because the animation where the ghosts blow up the entrance to the secret way down triggers when you're just standing on the ground for a little bit. But if you constantly hop on the ground, it won't trigger, which means you can stand on the van, fall in through the cutscene when it happens, and smash Mick's crate before you get the indication saying, hey, you can get to Mick now. And it saves
Another
just a
really
few
cool-
seconds for it showing you the mission objective screen.
Another really cool skit
So-
coming up. Fast forward again.
Ooh, yes. Top variation. Well, basically, we're supposed to run to the end of the cavern before the time runs out. Oh, missed it. And to do so, we're going to try and jump up to the upper ledge using the fast forge. However, in the way of us is a giant invisible wall that's blocking you because the devs did realize to try to do this and try to stop you. However, there's a tiny bit of a ledge there. Oh, almost got it. That you can stand on ever so slightly. And on that, you can either try to slip underneath the platform and double jump up and grab the ladder from below, or you can jump to the side and jump around the wall.
This saves a lot of time, so
There we
it's-
go.
even if we fail a few times,
Yeah,
we're
I still
saving
saving time. Yeah.
That's basic. You basically skip the entire level doing that, so it is way worth dying a few times. Because basically, you had to try and avoid the Tauntaun trap of the bombs that'll flood the room. And since it was the same big crystal piece we were looking for, then what in the Tauntaun's last stage, they find out that they've managed to nab it first. So we. Oh,
Yo,
that
dog,
was
do you like
lot
fast
of
forwards?
Really good
That's a
fast
ton
forward
of fast forwards. I've never seen so many in this level. Yeah, we
Oh
want to
my
get a fast
gosh,
forward.
God damn it. I still couldn't kill that guy.
Pussies.
Come on, teammates.
These
You can do it.
These
Need ammo.
Tauntauns have a lot of health, so in order to kill them in one shot, we want to use a fast forward and a level 2 sweeper, and those combined deal enough damage to instantly knock out the Tauntaun gang members. So that's another thing, as I mentioned,
What's
damage
Benito
with
planning to
trash
do with
is
the big
different
crystal?
in this game than it is the first one. In the first one, it was the trash itself that did multiple damage, like small trash did 1, big trash did 2, 16-ton weight did 3. This one is entirely based on your sweeper, so if you want a level 1, level 2, or level 3 sweeper deals 1, 2, or 3 points of damage, as well as letting you suck a big piece of trash. So having a level 2 sweeper helps in quite a lot of the future stages.
Slightly scuffed Sweepers 3, but it is what it is.
Oh, that was pretty good. Not too bad.
Yeah, it was
Well,
relatively
I messed up
good,
Bridge Skip a
aside
couple times, so.
Yeah, but aside
Yeah,
from that,
no,
Yep.
alright. And now we go for Time Sweepers 4, probably the most broken set of levels in this game.
oh yeah. we absolutely destroyed these levels.
What I think is pretty cool about from Sleepers 4 onwards in Blinx 2 is it introduces the ability for your cat to use two time controls at the same time, which
Yeah, time control combos.
should allow for infinite possibilities. But unfortunately, during the game, a lot of them aren't really utilized. We actually use
Yeah,
one.
it comes in.
We actually use one in
Sorry,
this
go ahead.
level that is not used anywhere throughout the entire game intentionally, but it is useful in this level. We use pause record. Why is my cat so like? Why is it so green? It looks like it's recorded. Maybe that's just me.
Maybe. Alright, we're gonna do a cool skip here. Bonk
Ah.
clicks.
Yes, originally we found there was a skip to get up on that area early, which is that's supposed to be where you end the stage coming out there. Originally found by Bacon Gaiden, he found a way for that offstroke balloon to shoot you up onto that wheel. But then Miku found a way to get up on top of that
Bruh.
Oh my god, no way.
oh my. That's that.
I killed him, but that's pretty bad.
Oh, that's
I have never had that happen before.
That's a bunch of what the hell?
yeah. That is a big that's never happened before. I have not seen that either. Oh, my.
Goodbye. Could you go back up, please?
I think you have to.
I'll leave and
wait,
come back.
respawn.
Yeah. I'll get into
Yeah.
respawn.
Oh yeah, but there's still you can smash that
The
crate from halfway, right? Yeah, the octo balloon should also come back with another record as well.
Should be.
That's
should be
not
soon.
meant to happen. The time barrier monsters there can only be defeated during a time control of a matching color. And since the objective of this stage is to defeat all the barrier time monsters, we try to kill two at once, both a pause and a record, by using our pause record combo.
What?
Oh
What?
my. What?
Okay, this guy's just being a
Alright.
bitch.
This guy. is
Oh,
actually trolling us
okay.
For real.
For some reason, he just wasn't taking damage there, and I don't really know
This
why.
is the real boss of Blinx.
I think you need to back off a bit more for the octo balloon to come back.
Nah, it should
Oh, wait.
be alright.
It's just time.
I think it's like 30 seconds. It's like 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
So we
That's
try to take them both out at once using a pause record combo. But this guy felt like being
Okay, he's dead this
real
time.
trolly today.
Yeah, he wasn't
Felt like being a bit of a
cooperating for some
troll.
reason.
Okay, so here we use a fast forward force to jump across the gap with a fast forward, and a force to take out those time bubbles to instantly end the time control.
Oh man. Screw that. Screw that time monster.
Yeah, he was the real boss of Blinx.
Doing a bit of trolling.
I'm not sure, like, so you shot the trash and it hit something. Well, like, you heard the sound, like, it heard like a,
Oh yeah, I forget we
an
can do that.
invulnerability, like an invulnerability sound. So I don't know if that was like, if you hit like the front of the monster and it did that. I don't know.
Yeah, my theory
game
is
also-
it must have hit the piece of trash that was suspended in the air, maybe. But I don't know if that has a hitbox or not.
I think that there's something about that as well. Also, there's just a fast forward there under the ground that you can sweep up.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah,
I think
not
it's there
sure
as an.
why.
I think it's there as an anti-softlock mechanic. If you get knocked by the octo balloon over to there, you can't get back without that fast forward, so it stops you from being soft locked in the first mission.
Oh, we also use it for an upcoming skip here, because you're supposed to do a pause and slow puzzle here to open up this door. But
Open the door.
I'm still struggling to get this skip, but doing so it skips that entire puzzle and immediately gets you onto this part of the stage, where to open up the doors to a hangar, you can either destroy more time barrier monsters or mesh all these gears together.
Spoiler alert: the gears are much faster.
Yes. because there's a very, very convenient path that you can get them all at once on a very quick loop around. And again, just like the first stage, we enter there through the intended exit, and come out through the intended entrance. So we do both of these levels in reverse.
Bruh.
Oh no.
Bruh.
Well, it wasn't
Onto
too.
the,
It
the
wasn't.
music glitch now.
Yeah, it wasn't too big of a time loss that, but you know.
Yeah, that's one tiny bug. It's like if you go back for a time control state for a return to checkpoint, then the intended music the level plays instead of the time control music.
Yeah, the other issue is of doing that as well is you're limited to full movement as well. Like you can't move slower if you ever want to do that.
Well, that went pretty good besides the raid boss time monster.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know what happened with him.
Okay. Speaking of bosses though, this boss does have bright flashing lights in it, so if you are photosensitive, I recommend you look away. When we get to his weak point, literally inside your open, he will swallow us, and there'll be bright flashing lights there.
Thank you for remembering that because I completely forgot about that.
The way this boss works is that we want to make sure that we use a record, and then we want to get sucked up by the big boss Benito.
So look away now, please.
Yeah, we want to shoot a bomb inside of him. This will make us spit out you and the food. And basically what this does is that when we shoot him inside his gut, he is vulnerable to shoot. On the outside, it exposes the weak point, which is his chest, which shows the big crystal energy. So you can see right there his shirt unbuttoned. Get some indigestion.
I think what I find pretty funny is all of the trash does like half damage apart from the bombs, which are apples for him. So I guess it implies that healthy food kills Benito more.
It's alright now though, you can look back again. You did it a different way I thought, because usually how I do it is that I pop the record later, so the record makes me go back in again.
Yeah, we found out that you can
shoots
skip a
and
text
then
box by using the record a little bit earlier. That's the reason why I used the record
Oh
when
yeah,
I did.
because because then you wouldn't get the text box of it saying use the record to make the weak point vulnerable.
Oh, Blinx.
Well, coming up is Tom Tom 4. Actually, the level that I think personally, casually, is the most difficult level in the game, to be honest. Although you could also argue potentially Tom Tom 5.
Nah, I wouldn't say Tom Tom
Could be.
5. I would definitely say
I'm-
Tom Tom 4.
Yeah, I remember casually this when I was a tiny kid. This took me a long time to get past. Especially after taking a long time to get past Tom Tom 3.
This is like the Everwinter of Blinx 2, even though it's not the Everwinter of
Oh,
Blinx
yeah.
2 because it's not that hard. Although we completely
Okay.
skip the entirety of Mission 1, to be honest.
Yeah, as a story update, after the shenanigans that happened in the Sky Castle with the giant Benito time monster and the shielded time monsters, Benito orders the Tom Tom Gate to come over here to find out what's going on. That's literally what the story beat is. But we just did a skip there to avoid getting the mission objectives, because we automatically ride a Tom Tom bike over to the next island. We get blown back by a giant windmill. We skip that. And first try for both boosts. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky to get yourself lined up with the trash, because you want to make sure that you get hit by the trash at a specific angle. There's also different
Yeah,
trash that
I feel like
can-
if you hug, yeah, the trash has different knockback value, so it's random how far you get knocked back by. But oh yeah, chaining the pauses to avoid more cutscene triggers.
And now we finally get
use
the start mission cutscene right here.
Nice. It's two
And all
cutscenes
those
playing at the same time, but we're basically, doing two in one.
Yeah, but yeah, we use that one cutscene there because now the fans no longer go, we don't get blown back and told to disable the windmill. He just instantly gets to the next island. And next story beat update. now we've gone to this island, we found out that the Time Sweepers were able to defeat the Shielded Time monsters by using time control, so we know what's going on with them. So we decide, you know, while we're here, let's steal something. Let's steal that flight stone that they've got there. So that's our next objective. We're on a bit of a cycle here, I think. Yeah.
Jump over
There's
it.
a small puzzle.
Bruh.
Oh, you didn't.
I pressed B.
Oh.
I fat fingered and pressed B.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So now we have to time these switches so that
Okay. Usually, there's a good timing you can get with these. Oh,
I got
you
it.
got them good. It's
yeah.
when you hit the switch below that enables that pinwheel to the left to move. That's also what starts these gears moving here. So it's a very quick and easy timing that you can do with those gears to get them all meshed up really early. As soon as you hit that switch, but means you're on a bit of a quick cycle. Ollie did mess up slightly, but recovered very quickly. Another jumping puzzle here. Hit this switch.
I failed the text
Good
box skip
job.
because I punched.
Yeah, and we've released the flight stone.
Fireworks strat time. You guys can explain those when I
yeah.
do those.
Yes, the firework has a special mechanic only on this level in this one specific part. Casually, you're supposed to use a firework to distract some guards to open up a switch here in the early part of the level, but we skipped that part. Because you're supposed to hit that switch there that Ollie just flipped a lot sooner than now. But since we skipped over that, these doors aren't open, so we have to hit it now so we can get out. That's what the firework is initially intended for you to do, so we actually use its semi-intended purpose here. Also, we need to go to this TomTom bike here specifically, not the one we came to this island on, because otherwise we don't trigger the end of the level.
I have no idea why you
Make
can't
it all
use
the
the
way-
other bike. Maybe it doesn't have enough petrol.
Because that's what... No, you can get back, you can even be standing on top of the gold gate itself. What happened to me when I first played this game, I was like, why isn't it working? I'm standing on top of the gold gate with the treasure.
Ah, okay.
Okay, and this,
Where'd he go? There's one. There's one.
this boss fight is like, we needed something to do. So, what the story beat is like, after we stole treasure, Benita goes, hey, those time troopers have something shiny, go back there and get it. So that's why we're fighting these time warriors. That was really quick and impressive.
That was pretty good, yep. The sniper
That
can
was
one
a
shot.
fantastic boss fight. Yeah, if you aim properly, because it does actually have a headshot mechanic. So you have to kind of jump and get a good angle from above on them if you want to deal full damage, but that's sometimes finicky and not always the most reliable, so it's good that you got them all here. Alright, and now we have two mini side levels. The Time Sweepers managed to find the TomTom base. They found a bunch of Time Sweeper prisoners there. So we get this big hammer to break open their cages and bust them all out. It's supposed to be kind of a stealth-ish mission for the Time Sweepers because aside from the hammer, there's nothing to interact with. There's no trash, no time crystals, nothing.
Bruh.
Yeah, for some reason your time sweeper just doesn't carry, you know, a time sweeper or a weapon. They were just like, here's a hammer. I think there's two more time sweepers to free. There's one over here that's straight ahead, and then there's one over to the right. And usually, I usually get all the tom-toms chasing me, but Ollie's doing a good job of making sure that they don't chase him.
There's a kind of a one specific route that you can take that aside from that one tom-tom at the start that he smacked, you can avoid the line of sight of nearly all the other tom-toms to avoid them harassing you.
Yeah, like the headshot from the sniper will one-shot any enemy in the game, even someone who has every single miracle smoothie, like 100 health.
Oh wow. I did not know that. That's pretty sick.
It does.
And after the sweeper's rescue, we got Sky Factory infiltration now. So we can pull this off.
Hopefully, this is the hardest pick in the current run.
Where'd he go? There's
What
one.
we're attempting to do is we're going to do a crane skip, and if everything goes right,
That detection was a little bit late.
it's a hard skip that you basically have to jump at the right time and get hit at the right time, at the right angle to boost yourself up, basically to the end of the level.
Where'd he go? There's one.
I got a
There we
second
go.
try.
Second
There
try.
we
That's,
go.
that's so good.
Where'd he go?
Basically,
skip.
we're using very, very, very specific timing to get that guard sweeper to shoot us at just the right position at just the right time to knock damage boost us up to
And I might crash, so
damage boost us to
there's a crash that can happen there if I don't flip that switch. I'm not
I
gonna
think it's like
I'm not gonna risk it, so I decided to flip the switch.
One of the lasers, I think, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I think if you fall onto the laser, you're guaranteed not to crash. But sometimes I've managed to crash like in the section of the game, so I don't want to risk it for the convention because that'd be very bad.
Yeah. Better to be
I'm
safe.
not too familiar with the crashes myself since I only run on console.
It's not an emulator crash, actually. It can happen on console as well.
Oh, it's a legacy.
I've never seen I've never had any of the crashes myself.
It's only if you're skipping the lever. It can happen sometimes, but I can't. I actually don't think I had the conditions to have the crash, but I still decided
Yeah, but better
to be safe.
Better to be safe than sorry. Yeah.
Okay, the story beat there though was that after stealing the Flight Stone and upgrading their Benito battleship with it, the Tomtones raced over to the Time Factory and stole one of the big crystal pieces from them. So now they're on equal pieces now, which I think it currently is like 3 each. So we go to the Time Oil Well world to look for the last few pieces. Also where we have some of the most complex skips, which are very close to other very near glitch states as well. We have pipe skip here.
Very cool little skip that we do here. There's a lot of things in this game where we kind of just get to the end of the level as soon as we can.
Yeah, because we're supposed to either blow up or drain the oil tank to get behind it.
Second try.
But what we also can do is we can damage boost up to this area where the exit is. It's really difficult to do with the firework compared to the bazooka. Personally, at least, I find it.
No, it
way
is. The
easier with
timing is a lot more
bazooka.
tight.
Yeah, and there's just the fireworks blast radius is ever so slightly smaller that it just throws me off and just it's a lot harder. But basically what we did there is that we jumped to the end of stage 1 and we're now in the stage 2 area. However, because we've done none of the objectives for stage 1, the game's a bit confused now and hasn't loaded in any of the stuff for stage 2.
There's no enemies or
Because
anything like that.
Because what we're supposed to do is that after we put the lid on that little well bit there, with the boulder, we found the piece of the big crystal. So we're setting up this trap by opening up all these valves to fill that tank with oil, so we can blow it up later. But after you flip the first one, the gate that we came in before is supposed to close, and some lava starts coming towards the well, and you're supposed to open up all 5 valves before it blows up. However, since we've done this skip, none of that's happening. It's just letting us run around this area with nothing happening. However, we are setting it up so when we carefully go back and finish off stage 1, according to the game, we'd already have all the stuff done for this stage and we can just get right to the end. and have carefully come from this angle, and good. We didn't soft lock the game.
Very easy to do. You just gotta follow like the gold coins, and then you won't get the soft lock.
Yes, because the game is a bit confused and doesn't like it when you do things out of order on this stage. So if you happen to if you happen to accidentally trigger some cutscenes there, it will try to play two at once, get confused, and you'll be stuck in this weird limbo of cutscene and gameplay loop. You won't be able to move, you can't pause it because you think it's in cutscene, and basically it's a soft lock, you have to reset the console.
Why isn't there a real photo?
Oh,
What
yeah.
do you mean? That is Ollie. That's what he looks like.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
So I actually have.
Also, yeah, Wet Sweaty Legs also says that also saves a shopping trip because we used to get a specific space control for the stage as well. But now we don't need to because of the skip. And also, our third skip that happened just there, we kind of shimmied in and out of the trigger zone for that area to trigger stage 2 again, but still be on this side of the doorway. So we have a much shorter route to get back to the goal gate for mission 3. Because Benito accidentally presses the trap button early and sets off a timer to blow up the
No
tank,
crash,
and we
thank
need to
God.
get out of there
Oh,
before
it
it
didn't
blows
crash.
up.
Okay, so why we say we didn't crash? There's an emulator bug currently with Zemu that there's a that cutscene that plays before this boss. It crashes the game, and it's very grateful that it did not crash. We're not really sure why it crashes. The way that we sort of just like made it not crash is that we downloaded. Well, not downloaded. We basically put a soft modded Xbox dashboard on Zemu, and that somehow fixes the problem. Yeah, with this boss, we're opening up basically these circular lights
Oh, that was almost a 2-cycle.
to allow the Shadow Claw to turn into the little guys, the little onions. And basically you do is you open up the light, you get the Shadow Claw in there, and then you try and kill as many as you can. You can.
Thing is, unlike the giant mandrake boss, we have blast weapons with the firework, which means we can kill all of them at once without triggering the reform, which technically means we can 2-cycle or even theoretically 1-cycle the boss. However, it's a bit difficult to do. You need to be lucky enough for all the little pieces to clump together close enough for the boss to do anything. Ollie almost got a 2-cycle there, but one of them managed to get away.
Fun fact, you cannot go first person mode in that level for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with the fact that like it's like taking place in like a sphere sort of arena where like it circles around itself, and I guess maybe going to first person mode would like I don't know, it just like screwed up everything in testing, so the devs like, alright, we're just gonna like not allow you to have first person.
Yeah, a few people have done 2 cycles. I've done it myself, and a few other ones have as well. I only say theoretically a 1 cycle because it's the same basis on how you're able to do a 2 cycle, but it's just no one's ever gotten the conditions just right that we can kill them all at once in a single cycle. So it's never happened.
There is a cool.
Now, oh sorry, go on.
There is a cool skip you can do here that involves a clip, but I don't go for it because it's kind of risky. It's not
Yeah.
risky, but you can. It's actually what I do is a little bit faster than doing the clip and failing it by about a second.
So the story beats here is that the Time Sweepers have managed to track down another big crystal piece here, but after they've trapped it, the pom-pom set off, lit a huge fire in this area, so we can't really navigate anywhere. So we have to, we need to take out all the fires in order to open up the pathway to the next area. Do that by using those fire bullets to knock out the fires, or by using the switches to close oil valves. But all the oil valves have a cutscene attached to them, so we use the fire bullets to complete this section. I want to kill that guy because he's got a fast forward and we want that.
I'm pretty sure with the destroying all like the fire, there's an extra fire in the level. So I think if you miss
Yeah,
one,
I think there's like
You missed two, actually.
14 out of 12.
oh, you missed two. Okay. Oh, you know that was very nice of the devs. Here we go. Gonna use our combo with the fast forward slow. Make our
Oh.
way to the end of the level.
Yes,
Ooh,
that there,
nice.
that jump there is new because there's a giant trigger there for another reactive to appear.
Apparently I missed the
or a
fire
cannon
someone,
there,
but
Oh,
no, I think it was just waiting for the time control.
oh why
change.
did it?
oh, huh?
That cutscene lasted not as long as it usually does.
Yeah, but
Anyone notice
basically, no, you can skip over those bits, can't you?
Oh, can you? Oh, maybe I'm
Really
just
soon
stupid.
you can. But basically, yeah, it was only recently discovered that you can jump over the trigger for that turret because we thought the only way you could do it was jumping around, which is a tight, narrow gap to the right-hand side of it that you can slip through with the fast forward. But only recently we found we can just jump right over it.
There we go.
I missed
Another
them.
really cool, oh, next cutscene. Another really cool skip here that we're doing with the fast forward again. Low. Good thing
Yeah.
about the
Grab the
combo is
coins.
that yeah, grab the coins. Apparently this stops the game from crashing.
Really? The coins the
Yep.
crash trigger?
Yep, the coins of the crash. Jesus.
How? Oh, okay, we don't
That's-
want
that's
that
alright.
to happen.
Rip.
The
How the
checkpoint's
hell
pretty-
did the coins cause the game to crash?
I have no idea
what?
why, but it is the coins for some reason.
How'd you figure that out?
Coincidence. One day,
Sandwich.
just randomly, Sandwich figured out, hey, if you grab these coins, it crashes. If you don't grab the coins, it doesn't crash. Sorry, other way
You ever
around.
had a
You
question
mean-
of how,
wait, do
how
you
did
mean-
someone figure that out? Stimage was the answer.
I'm still just trying to figure out the association of just having to grab those coins and the game not crashing.
Well,
This
on
is the first time.
I got
This is the
got
first
the
time
answer
hearing
for ya.
of it.
the game sucks. That's why. So that's why we have to pick up those coins.
I'm not sure if I've ever picked them up because I've never encountered that crash.
So normally there's fast forwards right next to those coins. Like if you kill that spiker, normally when you're sweeping up all those time crystals, you'll coincidentally sweep up all the coins.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
That's the reason
also,
why.
Yes, we also just did walk on lava there. That was the
I've never had.
checkpoint abuse that we were talking about before. Because you get a checkpoint just by standing on that platform right there, and we use those few brief seconds to walk on the lava for just a brief second. And that brief moment allows us to just get enough distance that allows us to jump.
Please.
Oh,
Oh, rip.
no, this is fine.
It's not the best, but it is what it is. Because now I failed the quick kill. I should have been a little bit more patient with that shot. I'll go shooting now.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
boss here, Silverboard, is probably one of the most annoying bosses in the game. Because you need to hit him at least 9 times. Once to get a rewind for him for him to become vulnerable. And then another 8 to knock him down and damage him 4 times over. And it's very easy to miss your shots because of this curvature of this planet. It's weird. Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, this game came out before Super Mario Galaxy, and it did it first. Super Mario Galaxy copied Blinx 2.
now we've completed all 5 stages of both factions. They've each got 4 pieces of the big crystal, but they're apart, so its time's still about to collapse. So, in order to try and stop the collapse, Time Sweepers are going to send them, this team, which is you guys, plus the pieces of the big crystal, over to where a giant time demon has appeared. We're going to try and beat it to stop time collapsing. Okay, so this final fight of the game is split up into 3 phases. The first is this time barrier monster phase. We have to defeat all 18 of these time barrier monsters in order to progress. And since they're only vulnerable when they pop out of their shells, what you want to do is try to get as many out of their shells as possible and use a pause to make them vulnerable. Once you've gotten to at least 7, the rest pop out automatically. So it's basically, you need to use 2 time controls to clear it. Once we've dealt with them, we can attack the boss.
And it'll drop these big crystals.
Yep. We try to use the big crystals, but he nabs them from us, so we need to hit him in order to get him back. We need to use a pause here, because otherwise those time monsters are going to try and eat the big crystal and turn into a really annoying enemy. So we just use the pause to deal with that quickly. Once we get the big crystal pieces back, we try to figure out what to do, but then the Tom-Toms with their big crystal pieces show up and say we need to shoot all the big crystal pieces into it at once. It's about to be time, by the way, as well. Right as soon as Olii shoots his final shot at the boss.
Gotta line up your first person mode, get all 8 circles.
And time!
Hey!
And
Good job.
I have
Underestimated.
I have no idea what time I got, but I was probably around a 112, I'm gonna say. 113?
So
you got
114.
114. Alright, fair enough.
114.10.
Yep. I mean, I did make a fair few mistakes.
The timer stopped like a second later, but let's go.
Yep.
That was
absolutely.
pretty decent.
Not bad at all. I mean, for the first ever Blinx 2 run seen in the convention, I'm pretty pleased with that run. I did make a few mistakes throughout. But
You played pretty consistently. All the mistakes you made were relatively minor. That was very good gameplay.
there was the demon in Sweepers 4 who lost me about 40 seconds.
Yeah,
I don't know why he did that.
We don't talk about that one.
Aside from
that, though,
Good job, Ollie.
yep, GG.
yeah, that was that was a very good one. Aside from that,
Let's go.
I want to give a shout out to the Blinx Discord, especially, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am right now, I think. All of the Blinx community, Miku, Stimich for finding all of the strategies on the run, Legs for being, a good supporter of the Blinx community, and yeah, I think we'll be right back for Song of Soil, playing chorus after this. Thank you for watching.